Welcome all sports fans, YouTubers, Facebookers, all social media across the nation. Uneducated Network presents Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm your host, Carlos Clayton. Today we're going to talk about an NFL Week 6 recap from the Sunday games. And my goodness, it was a crazy Sunday full of exciting football, full of crazy action. And we're going to recap it game by game. I'll tell you who I had winning. I'll tell you the actual results for it. And I'll tell you my thoughts on each game. Before I start that, please like, subscribe, comment, share, everything Uneducated Network on YouTube. Please do that for us to where you see my show, Uneducated Sports Talk, and many other shows. Do that. What are you waiting for? Like and subscribe to Uneducated Network on YouTube right now. Now, here we go. We all know that the Eagles beat the Panthers in Carolina on Thursday night. I went with Carolina, and I lost that. Yeah. So this NFL season has been very unpredictable, and I like that. For the first time in a long time, teams aren't really, besides Kansas City, teams aren't really like busting everybody up, and it's like that one or two teams. This is the first time it's like anyone can kind of win the Super Bowl this year. It feels that kind of way. You don't know where teams are going. There's not that one dominant force besides Kansas City. And you're like, man, because even a Kansas City team, you kind of feel like sooner or later they're going to show their real colors. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. But we all know that Carolina lost to Philadelphia 28-23. I had Carolina winning that. Let's start with today's game. Bears at Ravens, which I called my boo-boo game of the week. That came down to the wire. The Bears wound up defeating the Baltimore Ravens 27-24 in overtime. And who saw that coming? Not this guy. I chose the Ravens because of their defense and that the Bears' lack of offense right now. That's the reason why Ravens at home, I had them going in, and they disappointed. Mitchell Trubisky did not have a good game. He had one pass touchdown. The other one came from Cohen, the running back. He passed to Zach Miller wide open on a halfback pass. So that was nice, but trickery came in. Ravens hurt themselves. They only scored, I believe, like 2 points on offense total. Not 2 points. They only scored like 7 points off a touchdown, something like that. Everything else came from special teams or defensively interceptions. This is basically an ugly game to watch unless you're a defensive kind of guy. And the Bears went in there with the mentality is we are going to do anything possible to win this game. And they did that. Defensively, special teams, both teams came out with it as well. This is Mitchell Trubisky's first win as an NFL quarterback. And I know he's very happy with that. Joe Flacco, he's got to work on some things. Just when you thought Flacco got into the groove again, he regressed all over again. So, very shocking win by the Chicago Bears, 27-24 in overtime. For a second, you thought Baltimore was going to come back, being down, I believe, by 2 touchdowns. And then being down by that, coming back to win that game. You thought it was all momentum going towards them. They get in overtime. Chicago gets it, hits a field goal because Baltimore did not know what to do with it, their first possession. The craziest game of the week, I had an Uneducated Sports Talk, Uneducated Network, our upset game of the week. We said that the Vikings would beat Green Bay, but we were thinking it would be a healthy Aaron Rodgers they beat. No, it was an unhealthy, out of the game Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers goes down with a broken collarbone, likely out for the rest of the year. Heartbreak hotel for the Green Bay Packers because this could have been the year that they go all the way to the top to the Super Bowl since 2011, and they fall short because they're going to fall short because Aaron Rodgers, arguably the best quarterback in the game, is out for the year, most likely with a broken collarbone. The Minnesota Vikings take advantage of it. They win 23-10. We had them winning already. I had them winning in this game as the upset of the week just because they're at home, their defense. And I thought that Aaron would not quite struggle, but wouldn't have enough to beat Minnesota. But now Green Bay is in a whole lot of trouble if Aaron Rodgers is out for the year, and most likely he is. You get Brent Hundley in there, and he threw 3 interceptions, 1 touchdown, and he is not Aaron Rodgers. Let's just say that. He's not Aaron Rodgers. They lose 23-10. Jared McKinnon has another back-to-back good games now from Jared McKinnon. He's a touchdown, a receiving touchdown, and he's looking pretty freaking good, receiving and a rushing touchdown. To be honest, so he's looking good for the Minnesota Vikings right now. So Case Keenum comes in, and he's not your average backup quarterback. He's a guy that can come in and make some things happen. I like where Minnesota's heading. Stephon Diggs did not play, but they didn't need him. Adam Thielen had almost 100 yards receiving, so they're fine where they're at. Now with Green Bay being gone, this leaves the window open for Minnesota and Detroit to make noise. Chicago, but Minnesota and Detroit, it leaves them a big window to win that. The San Francisco 49ers go into Washington, and they lose 26-24. And basically a game I thought wouldn't come down to the wire, but I feel bad for the Niners. They had back-to-back overtime losses, and now this game being so close. Let's be honest. They've been in all of their games so far this year. They lost by 2 to the Rams early in the year on a Thursday night game. Back-to-back overtime losses. Now they lose by 2 to the Washington Redskins. I know that Kyle Shanahan is waiting for their first victory, and it will come if they keep playing the way they are. But just bad luck after bad luck from the 49ers. They lose 24-26 to the Washington Redskins, who, by the grace of God, did what they had to do. Rob Kelly was inactive for the game. Thompson, who I thought should have been playing last week a lot more, he gets over 100 yards receiving. That's basically 2 out of the last 3 weeks that's happened for him. And then you get Samaje Perine, who comes in and did a lot of good things for Washington as well. Kirk Cousins, another 300 yards passing as well for him. So Washington's offense, it felt like they could have scored more than 26. When it got to the fourth quarter, they were kind of tense. But luckily for them, they come out with the victory. They beat the 49ers 26-24. Let's go ahead and talk about my New Orleans Saints with a victory over the Detroit Lions, 52-38. Yes, you heard that right. The Saints scored 52 points, and the Lions scored 38. But at one point, the Saints were up 45-10. 45-10. I knew this would be a big game offensively for the Saints because them trading Adrian Peterson to the Cardinals. Now you get not so much of a crowded backfield. It's basically Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. They're running their show now, so you got those guys doing their thing. They get most of the carries, so you knew that somewhere they're going to have great success. And then we didn't think that the Saints defense would do what they did against the Detroit Lions team that doesn't throw or doesn't have many turnovers. They scored 3 touchdowns on their own. Kenny Vaccaro had basically a touchdown for them. You get Marshawn Lattimore with a touchdown, and you get Cam Jordan, all with touchdowns from the defense. They scored 21 points basically from their defense doing their thing. And then, of course, they're going to capitalize. But being up 45-10, there is no quit in the Detroit Lions team. They rallied back and scored 28 straight points. At one point, it was 45-38, and then they're pinned. The Lions pinned on their own 1-yard line. Cam Jordan comes up with a tip interception in the end zone, 52-38. This Saints team, yes, I know they're my team, but be careful. Now they're going to Green Bay next week with no Aaron Rodgers. Then after that, they play at home against the Chicago Bears team. So things are looking a little different now in this NFC South when you had Carolina, Tampa Bay, and Atlanta all lose this week. And with the Saints winning, it puts them up. They're only a half game. I was going to say a game above Carolina because they have a 1-0 lead over Carolina right now. So I'm very excited for my Saints. They're going to kick themselves in the butt because of the thing that they did. But this game overall was sloppy. It was a long game. This game lasted almost 4 hours, 35 minutes extra longer than it should have been. But penalties, turnovers, all kind of crazy stuff in this game. But this is one of those games that you're just glad you won it. And the Saints won at 52-38. Let's talk about, speaking of the Falcons losing, yes, they go home and lose to the Miami Dolphins 20-17. We did not see this coming one bit. I'm pretty sure everyone did not see this coming. The Dolphins go in there. Now, there's 2 AFC East teams, the Bills and the Dolphins. Both put L's on the Atlanta Falcons in the Dome. Atlanta was up 17-0, and it seemed like all was right with the world. Julio Jones comes back from an injury. And then you got the great running game with Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman. So what's the big deal? 17-0, and they let Miami come back. They seem like they're befuddled on offense in the second half. I don't know what's up with this team. They're kind of Jekyll and Hyde right now, so I don't know what to really think about the Atlanta Falcons. They're still a good team, and they're still, in my opinion, the best team in the NFC South if they can get their ish together, if you know what I mean. But give credit where credit is due. Jay Cutler, and I cannot stand the guy with with all my soul, but he rallied his team. Yes, Jay Cutler rallied his team. This Miami Dolphins team that couldn't score for nothing. He rallied those guys, and they came back with a touchdown to Jarvis Landry, a field goal, and another field goal. Falcons still had a chance to come back and win the game. They were thinking tied, but with the way they were going, they had a chance to go in the end zone. Matt Ryan, he throws it, interception. He tried to throw it to Hooper, and it gets stripped from the Dolphins' safety, and he runs out the clock. And that's all she wrote. So when you get a little greedy, they had a chance to tie the game and probably bring it to overtime, but they went a little more. You got to be smart in that, Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan knows that. They let another one get past him. The Texans defeat the Cleveland Browns. We all saw that coming. 33-17, no matter how bad the Texans defense is, you knew that against this Cleveland Browns team, they're going to have much success. And I'll tell you this, man. Deshaun Watson, if I haven't said it once, if I haven't said it twice, I said it a million times. He is the future. He is the guy. I saw when he played against Alabama and those two performances when he almost won and when he did win against the Alabama team, which is very, very, very good. I think that Alabama team can come to the NFL and probably be a decent defense, you know what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is Deshaun Watson is pretty freaking good. He is. He's very talented. Very, very, very talented. And he proved it once again. 3 touchdown passes, 225 yards passing. They win 33-17 over the Cleveland Browns, who are still struggling to have any identity in life. They just don't know what they want to do. This Cleveland Browns team is a mess. I don't know what to do with them, but thank God there are fans to support them. But in Houston, Deshaun Watson was not going to lose that game. They're 3-3, still trying to find their way in the AFC South because that it's all cluttered up in the AFC South. So they win 33-17. The New England Patriots at the New York Jets, and I had a feeling the Patriots will win this, but it'll be very, very, very close. For some reason, this isn't the same New England Patriots team. And we all know from various times, various years, and various moments of a season, we've always at one point said, the Patriots just don't look right. Maybe it was 1 or 2 weeks, but I'm being serious when I say the Patriots don't look right. Their defense is finally being, they used to be a bend but don't break defense. Now they're bending and they're breaking a lot. They're breaking all the time. And they spent money on Stephon Gilmore, and they let Chandler Jones go, and things aren't clicking in New England on that defense, and they could have easily lost this game against the New York Jets of all teams. The Jets are not a slouch, I tell you that. But New England does win 24-17. They are in first place of the AFC East for now. I think, of course, they'll probably win the division as usual. But this isn't the same Tom Brady. This isn't the same offense. They have these small guys running around, but you still have Gronk, and it's the Patriots. So you never ever count them out ever. But I'm just saying it's a different Patriots kind of team. We'll see how they do, how they fare against Atlanta. I think they come up big in Atlanta. I'm not quite sure, but I think they'll play a lot better with the competition being better, maybe. But they win 24-17 against the New York Jets, who are no slouch. Let's just say that they're no slouch. Who would have thought the AFC East is kind of being a good division again? We'll see. I'm not sure. I'm just saying. The Buccaneers lose to the Cardinals, 38-33. Adrian Peterson makes his debut with the Arizona Cardinals, and he showed up and showed out. Adrian Peterson over 130 yards rushing on about 24 carries, I believe. That's the AP of old. He just said, Sean Payton, I needed touches. Sean couldn't give him those touches, so they did him a favor, basically, and shifted to Arizona to where he is the guy. And these old guys, when you talk about Carson Palmer, Larry Fitzgerald, and now Adrian Peterson, they all look good. Adrian Peterson, over 130 yards rushing. Fitzgerald, 10 catches, 138 yards receiving. AP with 2 touchdowns. Fitzgerald, 1 touchdown. Carson Palmer threw for 3 touchdowns. So if Arizona can get this kind of offense going on, they're going to win a lot of games. But for some reason, their defense is still ho-hum. They got a lucky break. Jameis Winston went out with some kind of arm injury, I believe. 33-38, they wound up winning over the Buccaneers. But Ryan Fitzpatrick came in, his backup role, and did a damn good job. And Ryan is always a wonderful backup to have on your team. So who knows? I'm very interested in seeing how things go with this Arizona Cardinals team. Now that you add Adrian Peterson, who looks like he said he can play 4 to 5 more years. I'm very interested to see if he can not only do that, but in this year, like just go crazy on teams. So if Adrian Peterson, people are going to pick him up pretty soon. I'll tell you that. But the Cardinals win 38-33. Rams at the Jaguars. I had the Rams win this one, and guess what? The Rams did 27-17, but not before Leonard Fournette. First play from scrimmage, 75 yards rushing. He ended with over 140, with over 110 yards rushing, something like that, or 120 maybe, I'm not sure. But Leonard Fournette is a beast. Good God. He wound up hurting his right ankle, but the coaching staff did say that he will be ready for next week. He could have came into the game, but the way the game was going, they didn't want to risk anything else further. But Leonard Fournette is a stud, and they cannot pass the ball. That's their problem. Once they get into certain third and long distances, Blake Bortles, for some reason, outside of his rookie year, man, he's just struggled passing that ball. He struggled mightily. And you feel bad because they got to run on first and second down. Obvious running on first and second. And they've been doing a great job when you got Cam Robinson from the draft and you got Leonard Fournette from the draft as well. So they know what they're doing. They know their philosophy. They want to run the ball 40 times, and Chris Ivory is not a slouch as a backup. But let's not even talk about the Jaguars because they lost the game. Let's talk about the Los Angeles Rams, who are now 4-2. And Ty Gurley, who had a big game. I wasn't expecting a big game from him, but he had a big game on the road, and this team is coming out to play. They know who they are. They're going to run the ball, do a lot of play action, and throw the ball with Jared Goff, who's going to hit various receivers. And they've done that time after time, but they got special teams help with a block punt for a touchdown, and they got defensive help thanks to Blake Bortles just being straight up garbage, in my opinion. So the Rams are just an all-around good team right now, good solid team. I'm very excited about this team in the future. They win 27-17. They go to 4-2. Jacksonville's 3-3. Oh, by the way, I had the Cardinals beating the Buccaneers, and I had the Patriots beating the Jets. I had the Texans beating the Browns, and I had the Falcons beating the Dolphins, but we all know what happened with that. And I had the Saints beating the Lions. So just letting you guys know. I forgot to tell you guys. Now, Chargers at the Raiders. I had the Raiders winning this game, but it did not happen. The Chargers beat the Raiders 17-16. And what I believe is kind of like karma's changing for the Chargers now. That's back-to-back weeks where they've won close games, where, the last 3 years it felt like they were losing these close games. And now, one thing about the Chargers is they will always be in the game. It's like every time they play, they are always going to be in a close game. They're not getting blown out, and they're not blowing anybody out. They're always in a close game. They win 17-16 by a game-winning 32-yard field goal from them to beat this struggling Raiders team now. That is 4 games in a row they've lost after winning the first 2. And that was my Super Bowl pick my team to go to Super Bowl represent the AFC, and right now they're not looking like that. Marshawn Lynch was looking like he's going to have a big game, and for some reason they stopped running the ball. The Chargers did just enough defensively to shut down Derek Carr, who came back a little early from injury, and he just wasn't the same guy. I know that Cooper's been struggling all year. I don't know what's wrong with Amari. I don't know what's going on. I can't tell you anything about that or what's going on with him. But I know that Michael Crabtree had a touchdown. Melvin Gordon, who's quietly just having buku fantasy stats right now, and who's becoming one of the best all-around running backs in the game. So I'm really loving Melvin Gordon's bringing to the team. His rookie year, he struggled hard, but the last year and now this year, he is on it, man. And Phillip Rivers just has to keep finding stride. That's 2 games in a row now. They're 2-4, and they're trying to stay above water. They're tied with the Raiders, but they're looking up at Kansas City and then at Denver as well. So Chargers get another great victory on the road this time against a Raiders team. And then Steelers at Chiefs, which is probably the game of the week. Everyone was buzzing about how the Steelers got blasted by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and everyone's buzzing about how the Chiefs are undefeated. So we got this game going on, and it's the NFL. It's a crazy week. So yes, of course, the Steelers won this game. Even though I had the Chiefs winning, I thought it was obvious the Chiefs were going to do the thing at home, a struggling Steelers team, and the Kansas City still had a chance to win. But overall, the Steelers win 19-13. Big Ben, look, he did what he had to do to win, but Le'Veon Bell is the guy. 179 rushing yards, about 27 carries, I believe. Antonio Brown, for some reason, that's all they have on offense is Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, and they find ways to get those guys the ball. Antonio Brown, after being, I believe they're down, no, they're up. I want to say, what was the score? It was 10-12. And Antonio Brown gets a 50-something yarder for a touchdown. It tipped off of two guys from the Chiefs. Antonio gets up the sideline, touchdown, crowd's going crazy. You're like, how did that happen? But Antonio Brown is that good. He makes things happen like that all the time. And the Chiefs still had a chance to win the game, being down by 6 points. They were driving, but a penalty hurt them at the end, and they just could not get into the end zone. Had a shot to win it, but it did not happen. Steelers beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs get their first L, so now there are no more undefeated teams in the league. So I'm pretty sure the 1972 Dolphins are popping champagne once again. And Pittsburgh, hey, they have Kansas City's number. I don't know what it is with Pittsburgh and Kansas City. It's almost like New England and Pittsburgh. New England has Pittsburgh's number, and Pittsburgh has Kansas City's number. And once again, they go into Arrowhead. After last year, going into Arrowhead and beating them, they go back to this year, beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and now Pittsburgh is trying to establish that dominance again in the AFC North because Bengals were on a bye week, and they figured let's do some damage right now. While the Bengals are just now finding their stride, but had to get that bye week, so it's kind of tough for the Bengals to sit there and watch the Steelers win that one. But they love that the Ravens lost as well, so and the Browns lost too. And then our Sunday night game was, we all thought another head scratcher. The Broncos coming off this bye week, they're 3-1. They're playing against the hapless New York Giants, who are 0-5. Of course, I got the Broncos winning this. Denver's at home, Mile High Stadium. They're gonna be rocking and rolling. Eli has no weapons, no more Odell Beckham. There's no more Brandon Marshall. So of course, the Broncos win, right? The way this week is going, no. The Giants go into Mile High Stadium and defeat the Denver Broncos by a score of 23-10. It was ugly on offense all around for the Denver Broncos. Trevor Siemian, they found themselves past the 50-yard line just about every possession. But once they passed that 50-yard line, they couldn't make anything happen. The Giants already have a good defense, and now I think it wasn't showing this year, but I think for some reason now that they thought they were kind of lackadaisical when you add an Evan Ingram in the draft, add a Brandon Marshall as well. You got a Sterling Shepard, you had an Odell Beckham. They kind of figured we ain't got to be as aggressive. We don't have to be as good. We have this offense now that can score points like crazy, we believe, so we don't have to be as hungry on defense. Well, that didn't work out. That led to 0-5. It's funny when all those guys are out, this defense stepped up big time. Janoris Jenkins is showing why he's one of the best cornerbacks in the game. You got the boy Snacks, I forgot his name, but his nickname Snacks, number 90 for the Giants. He's just a massive, destructive kid on there on the D-line, one of the best D tackles in the game. This Giants defense, they play like that, and I think for some reason they have an edge. I can see them being back to respectability. Now with the Cowboys in the division, the Eagles looking good as well, and the Redskins still winning, it's going to be tough for the Giants to even come back from this. But this was a great win by the New York Giants that I did not see coming. They beat them 23-10, and the Broncos' defense was there, but their offense was horrible. Either guys were dropping passes. Trevor Siemian was looking bad, making bad decisions. When he made good decisions, they dropped passes. They just looked lackadaisical out there on offense. So I don't know what was going on with them, but hopefully they change it around because you can't keep losing if Kansas City is still on top, and you can't keep losing if you have an Oakland Raiders team that's really waiting to break out of their shell and get a victory, man. So I had the Broncos winning that, but that did not happen either, man. So the Monday night game is Colts at the Titans. I had the Titans winning that game. As of right now, I am 7-6 in this week. And it's horrible, man. This season is very, very tough to put your dot on who's winning. My best week was week 1. And as the weeks go by, you think you get more familiar with the teams, and you don't. Something surprised you. We didn't see the Bears beating the Ravens. We didn't see the Giants beating the Broncos. A lot of people didn't see the Steelers beating the Chiefs, although the Steelers are a pretty good team. And and a lot of people didn't see the Dolphins beating the Falcons. So another crazy week. I'm enjoying it. I love it. I love when everything is tight and it's confusing. Check out Tuesday. It might be uploaded Wednesday night. Our college casual football talk with me and Brian Wilkinson. Talk about college football. A lot of crazy upsets for that. And just be ready for our next episode. We will definitely talk baseball. I promise you guys, all you baseball lovers, baseball talk is coming. I got you guys going on, all the playoff news going on. So that being said, I enjoyed myself. Hope you guys did. Hope you guys get ready for hopefully a good game Monday Night Football. It won't be at all. But I didn't say that. That being said, please like, subscribe, comment, share everything. Uneducated Network on YouTube. Like and subscribe to Uneducated Network on YouTube. And help a brother out. Show love and support. I want to thank those who have been helping us from day one. That being said, know what it is, man. This Uneducated Network is presenting Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm the host, Carlos Clayton. And as always, sports fans, you know what it is. Stay smart, stay uneducated. Peace.